Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the All Sports Podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, the very talkative and probably the light of the podcast, Lachlan Turner.
The light of the podcast? You mean the one that doesn't shut his pie hole? I'm one of the other co-hosts, Liam McDonald.
And I'm your third co-host, Sumit Kadav.
See, he hasn't been here so much, he's forgotten his name.
No, yeah, I forgot my name. And
the links.
Let's get this underway.
The links to our socials will be in the
Lockie
description
and a
down
crying
below.
Liam.
Hey, one at a time, please, lads.
The links to our socials will be in the description down below. We are yet to add the TikTok link.
We have a TikTok link?
We have a TikTok, but somebody is just refusing to give us the account details.
Why are you blaming him?
That's rough, man. That's ouch.
You were flaming me earlier, pre-recording.
We would never flame you, Lockie.
Not at all. Where's the proof?
This the biggest
Mate,
lie.
It's all in your head. Where's the proof?
Shut your mouth.
I don't see any receipts, mate. That's all I'm saying.
No, well, look, we will be posting TikTok soon. You know, once this person I'm looking at that starts with his name is Saz. So I'm looking at this guy.
Who's Saz? There's no Saz here.
Oh, sorry, I meant Summit. He'll be posting TikToks soon.
I will.
Yes, you will be. Liam and I made a thing where we're gonna be consistent, post an episode every week. We're gonna do the same with TikToks. And if you don't like it, well then give us.
I hear Liam and me, not Liam, me, and Summit. So yeah.
Well, that's because you're hardly here. Anyway, let's actually start talking. Let's actually start talking about something. Now, this is gonna sound like a really right. So this is gonna sound like a stupid question, but
here we fucking go, another one.
Jeez. What makes a good captain?
Talking.
Good skipper. Communication, I think, is one thing, right? But it's also
banter.
No, not banter. I was
proper sledging. He's got to get in the batter's head.
I'm not just talking about cricket, but like AFL. Well, yeah, cricket, but also leaders as well. What good leaders? You know, I think they've got to set the example, like on the field. You know, put their bodies on the line. Like
you got to lead by example, pretty much. How you conduct yourself, how you'd want the team, you know, to conduct themselves. The one guy
that I can think of, or who was in the AFL, was Joel Selwood. He always put his body on the line for Geelong, which is why he's probably one of the most successful captains in VFL AFL history.
I mean, he added a bit of mayo to head contact.
But who cares? Like, he's putting his body on the line, which is
I remember you were one of the people that didn't like him for throwing his head back.
That was the one thing about his game that I did not like about him. Yes, I will admit that. But he was leading by example. He put his body on the line. Essendon fans keep giving Dyson Heppel shit. I don't understand why. But he puts his body on the line every single week. I'll take that over somebody like Merritt who refuses to do that. Yeah, for cricket, you know, you could argue that so far Pat Cummins has looked the goods, but the next sort of few months is what's going to kind of define him as a captain. Let's be honest.
If he can play every game.
Not just that, but if Australia
because the next few games are kind of they're away games, so that'll test his leadership.
And it's in India and England.
And we're going to wipe the floor with India because.
Oh, mate, no. As you said, we produce dust bowls, and not my fault. Your people can't play on dust bowls, so.
No, don't worry. If we get Murphy out there, he'll take advantage.
Actually, if you look at the record with Steve Smith over in India, he's actually got a very good record over in India.
So that's one of our top 6 that knows how to bat in India.
Yep.
David Warner's
whose record is about to be ruined this tour. So,
we're giving giving India a free wicket with David Warner. Like, that's just a
maybe.
Yes, he averages 20. He averages 23 in India.
No, I reckon this India attack's going to be enough to make David Warner good in the subcontinent. Subpar.
Australia
mate.
barely beat their fucking B
Mate.
grade
Don't make
side.
me
Like
laugh.
they lost to their B grade side in Australia.
I would have to stop you there, Lockie. It was actually their C grade side, that bowling attack. How many of those guys still bowl
Yep.
for India?
You're right. None of them. All right. Look,
True.
we're getting off
True.
track.
We had a couple of net bowlers in there as well. So,
But, good leaders, they need to lead by example on and off the field, set the standards. The one guy, like, for Brisbane, right, that I know, I mean, I was little when this guy was just dominating football. Michael Voss, one of the best leaders in the AFL. He wouldn't necessarily dominate every game, but he would lead by example every
Dominated
single time.
a fair few of them.
Sorry?
He dominated a fair few of them.
Yeah, I know, but the games that he didn't, he would put his body on the line. But see, you could argue that he was probably maybe the second best midfielder on the side behind Simon Black. Because Simon Black during that three-peat was arguably in career. Well, you could almost say that was the best form of his career because he won a Brownlow and he won a Norm Smith.
Pretty good time to have the best form in your career.
Exactly. And then, and if you want to rate the three big captains of that kind of era there, or you could even say four. Actually, I don't know if he was captain of St Kilda back then. Voss, Hurd, Buckley, Robert Harvey. Right. Now, this is going to sound interesting, but it'd be hard to split Voss and Hurd because while they only got the one flag under Hurd, he got injured a lot because he put his body on the line. And when Essendon needed him the most, he often had to carry that. Like when somebody had to lift, he was always the one to lift. Right. And, that's what leaders do. They lift. His courage. No, he probably, the one thing he probably outdoes Voss in maybe would be courage. Nobody in that time, I don't think, would have as much courage as what Hurd did.
I mean, Voss was a bit of a.
I'm not saying that
made some very interesting decisions going after a football.
So did Hurd. He got his skull, he got his face caved in. He literally got his face reworked. He had to spend 2 weeks in a Perth hospital because he was on the bottom of a pack, literally going for a questionable decision. And he wasn't supposed to play football again that season. He came back 6 to 8 weeks later. First game back, got BOG and wore a helmet for the rest of the season. But he was a good leader. Voss, obviously, you can argue, probably the best captain of that kind of period era. I mean, 3 flags.
Well, in terms of winning.
Pretty good. But he didn't necessarily have to carry his side I know Essendon had good players, but not to the extent Brisbane did.
Yeah,
so
Brisbane's
Voss
team
didn't
was
necessarily
ridiculous.
have to be the one that had to push them over the line. But he did. He set very high standards. You could argue Harvey was a lot better than Buckley, right? Now, I don't have the records or stats, but Harvey was St Kilda's heart and soul player, as Buckley was, but it was hard to shut Robert Harvey down. St Kilda got to a few final series, deep in finals because of him. And probably Fraser Geary. The big G train. But Buckley.
I'm grateful for Buckley. Brisbane got to beat him twice.
While I don't know what the record is as in terms of Kyle Macker finals under his captaincy, but they lost 2 flags, right, under his watch. I don't think they made finals more than, counting them one head. I'm pretty sure it might be the same with Hurd. But he was nowhere near as hard as the 3 that I previously mentioned. I think that's fair to say. He would often sit out the back and get the ball. Come on. It's what these players do a lot these days.
There's different roles, though. You don't need everyone being on the bottom of the pack because then they've got no one to shovel it to.
But, it's like 30 to 35 cheap possessions. And when
because that's how the game's played.
But when he needed to step up, he couldn't do it. Like when Collingwood needed somebody to be the man of the moment, he couldn't be that. For Essendon, it was Hurd, always Hurd. He could do that. Voss, that clash that he had with Scott Burns in the O2 grand final, and he got crunched. I've seen the footage. You've probably seen the footage a lot. I'm pretty sure everybody's seen the footage. He got crunched, got up, gave off. I'm pretty sure he gave off a handball and got a goal, and he went straight to Scott Burns, got into his face. That is what a leader does. Buckley can't do that. He was never that type of player that would be able to go in and get a hard ball get. Hurd, the courage that he displayed, there were times where questionable. And probably the same with Harvey. I mean, Harvey's a 2-time Brownlow medalist. People probably forgot about that.
There's a reason he played as many games as he did for as long as he did.
Because he was a good player, a very good player. So, but that's kind of like, so if I was to rank those four, I have to go equal one because like.
Nah, Voss number one for me.
No, this is mine.
No, I'm serious. I mean, both of them pretty high level, same level as captains, and Voss has more wins.
But then we could also go, Buckley has 7 All-Australians. Why not add him in? And he won a Brownlow in that period. So Buckley should be first.
But that's the thing. Captaincy isn't down to how good you are as a player.
I don't necessarily think the captaincy should also be about how many wins you get. Like Mark Murphy for Carlton, they got fuck all wins under his captaincy, but he was always a team first player. He was getting constantly tagged every week, but he put in that much effort. I thought he was a good captain for Carlton, which is why, and that's why I have heard slightly above, because he would often just drag himself, will himself to do the unthinkable and get Essendon over the line. He did that countless times. Yes, he had guys like Fletcher, Lucas, Hurd, McCurry, Long.
You just mentioned him when talking about him.
No, I didn't.
You just had Hurd amongst your list of players.
My bad. But Voss had power, Ackermanis, Black. He had probably the nastiest backline of that era, the Scott brothers, and he had the 3 big power forwards. That's plenty of help. Hurd had probably fuck all help. The only thing that I can't say fuck all because he had from his captaincy to when he stopped, I'd say, his second best player would easily be Matthew Lloyd by far. That was his. I mean, which is not a bad teammate. Considering
not a bad teammate, one of the greatest forwards of all time. Not a bad teammate. Yeah, okay.
Well, I mean, look.
Yeah, I think you're underselling him just a little bit.
Yeah, probably, but I mean that's how I go. So I go Hurd 1, slightly just above Voss. I go Harvey 3 and Buckley 4. I honestly don't think Buckley was a good captain because Voss dragged Brisbane that Brisbane side got into finals because of the standards he set.
Honestly, I don't really know enough about Buckley as a captain because he doesn't get talked about as much as like a Hurd or a Voss does.
And what does that tell you? That he wasn't as good as them.
Probably enough, but
all right, do me a favor. Pull up the ladders look up when he was captaincy and look up the Collingwood ladder positions, and we'll count how many times Collingwood made finals. I think it would nowhere near be more than fucking 5.
Do you want me?
Yeah, and I'll keep going. So then there's that. Out of the modern day captains right now, I would have said.
Wow, the first thing you put in Collingwood ladder positions in Google, and the first thing that pops up is ladder positions under Buckley. But I wonder if that's going to be as coach.
That'd be as a coach, I reckon. Modern day captains, I don't think there is any modern day captain necessarily like,
So wait, what year do you reckon he became captain?
It would have been the late 90s.
I'll go for 98. Do you want me to share screen?
No, don't share screen.
Okay, fine. could interactive with the viewers, but okay, that's all right.
I'm just, like,
98.
what modern day captain do you reckon is like one of those guys that like
Ooh, Collingwood were dog shit in '98.
they were bad like back then? Rory Sloane was one. Like, didn't he get injured because of like he got constantly injured because of how much he put his
Wooden spoon.
body over the line?
That's second last. Jeez. Hey, so
and for but going to other sports, in terms of leaders, like you'd argue for
MS Dhoni was a pretty good leader.
Well, I was going to say MS Dhoni, he led that many wins for India and willed them most of the time.
Actually, Sumit, who do you reckon was a better captain, Dhoni or like Kohli?
Dhoni by far.
I'll be honest, in terms of results, Dhoni was the better captain. He did well, pretty much. He's got Kohli 5-0 anyways. But in terms of I think changing the entire Indian team, I'd have to give that to Kohli. Kohli brought in more. He brought in fitness. He brought in that aggression. He was like that aggression was comparable to like someone like Ricky Ponting, I suppose. Sure, yeah, he sledged. Yeah, both of them did, but like they were very, very aggressive. Under Kohli, the same Indian team that played for Dhoni became a very brutish, a good force to be reckoned with. And yeah, he didn't have many ICC championship wins, but he did have many series wins under his captainship. So I reckon they're both pretty good. It depends on how you look at it, to be honest.
I honestly, the one thing I have against Kohli is that if he doesn't like you, he's rarely going to pick you.
Yeah, see, we don't know if it's like or if it's whatever.
Isn't there a thing where he actually has a lot of disagreements with, is it Ravi Ashwin?
He does have a lot of disagreements with Ravi Ashwin, but then
he's dropped him because of that.
He still gets picked for the tests. Like Ashwin was picked for the Aussie squad. He was
but in the past though, he was dropped despite being on good form.
When you think about it,
we don't know what might have happened there, but still.
India have so many good players, it's ridiculous. Like, you can't fit more than 11 guys in a team. And they definitely have more than 11 guys capable of playing.
Well, obviously, because we saw what they did to us, the Australia ones. They brought their threes out and beat Australia.
I mean, was it really the Australia ones? Warner and Smith
were
still suspended.
Oh, yeah, Wade. Well, yeah, good point.
Marcus Harris was opening.
Oh.
Marnus hadn't started scoring runs yet.
Yes, he had.
True, but then even when Warner and Smith,
yes, he had, because the summer before the Pakistan New Zealand one, he made
but he hadn't gone to the Ashes and replaced Steve Smith yet, had he?
Yes, he had. That was the 2021. The Ashes were in 2019.
I think you guys are talking about two different series. Well, he's talking about the recent India tour of Australia. And Liam's talking about the previous one, 2018-19.
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wasn't that recently he got passed by the C team, was it?
Oh, it was that recent. It's been a year.
It's been a couple of years. Because it was day 2, Boxing Day 2020 that we went to.
Yeah.
And Australia had played Pakistan and New Zealand. And he scored a double ton.
I remember watching Marnus score his double ton against.
He scored a double ton at the SCG.
Yeah.
Against the Kiwis. But like, I'll keep going with like really good leaders. Like, a good leader.
You did the same thing to us 2 series in a row. Really? What the hell? That's outrageous.
Good leaders, they just do things for the team. Well, to a certain extent, like, you need, like, and for the NFL, it's pretty much, you need good locker room guys. It's not necessarily, leaders are one thing because, like, look, for whatever reason, the American footballers, they're very,
Don't they have, like, 4 different captains on their teams or something stupid?
Yeah, they do. Like
The
they
amount
have
of guys I see with a C badge on their jersey.
exactly. Yeah. Well, I mean, look, because they obviously, those guys that have the C on offense aren't the fucking captain on defense, are they? That what the fuck would they know? Just rush the quarterback and see what happens. But so, well, I mean, that's that. I can't really like. Are there any really good leaders in the NBA like currently? I mean,
There are a couple guys that get like one that springs to mind is Udonis Haslam on Miami. He's like 40 years old now and has barely played an NBA game for 5 years, and they keep him on the roster for his leadership.
I mean, and you need those players. Like that's how teams actually. That's how you build like a good like locker room chemistry
Yeah,
type of stuff.
the NBA is a bit different in that I don't really think they really do captains. It's more, but like part of the rebuilding process is that you have a couple of vets that are past their prime, but you get them to mentor the younger guys, like the guys that your future rests on.
Yeah, as they're playing as well. I mean, you got Michael Jordan. He maybe not early on his career, but later on he did become. He
I
was a
don't know. Michael
pretty good
Jordan
leader.
wasn't the best for veteran
He wasn't the best
leadership.
teammate.
When he went and
Wasn't
played
the
with
best
Washington,
teammate, but
right? They had a guy, Kwame Brown, that they drafted #1 overall like the year before he got there. Absolutely ruined that man's confidence in his career. Like so
that's
hard
rough.
on him that Kwame
Oh,
Brown's career
you want
died.
to talk about confidence, right? I've got it now. Here we go. You want to hear a story? This is a game where I lost confidence in myself, right? So
I can't picture it. You losing your confidence? No.
no. This
I
game,
want to picture it.
so I was in a bad run of form. Like I think leading into this game, I think I kicked like I was on like I kicked 2 or 3 points in a row, and I was having a mirror of like a few games, and we were playing Mother's Day, 2014. I remember the side we were playing Laylaw, and we were getting absolutely pumped. Like this team, like, and this is the thing with football. Like it's not necessarily your skills. Like if you have a good, like if the side knows how to move the ball well, you're in trouble. And unfortunately, this
They
side
knew how to move the ball.
here's the thing. Well, they did, but they were fat. So, I was kind of thinking, they're not going to be able to run, but they moved the ball so well. And it's like, we're in a bit of trouble. They kicked the first 6 goals of the game, and I scored our only side's score, which was a point before quarter time. And I thought,
Let me guess, straight in front. Absolutely.
no, I was, I can tell you one straight in front that I missed. No, I'm pretty sure I was like, I got the ball, received a handball, running towards like the boundary, the wrong, like, so say like the goals are like that way. I'm running this way, and I tried to just dribble it through, and it just
selfish. Center it, you selfish kid.
There was nobody in front of me. Like I was the closest one to the goals.
Unbelievable. Selfish.
And so yeah, I missed that. Then I then kicked another point. I kicked it off the ground, and we were inching closer. While the other team, they were like touching us up really like physically, like they were belting us and stuff. And like when I say belting us, like one of their players kicked out one of our players in the face, and we got nothing for it.
That seemed very rude.
Yeah, no, they weren't a very nice. Well, when we first played, and then I remember I kicked another point. I hit the post. I was only a few meters outside, like kicked it off the ground and hit the post. And I remember I got down and like punched the ground. Like I was fucking filthy. Then I kicked another point to start last quarter. And then I remember I took a mark. And at this point, if I had kicked it and gone back and had a set shot and kicked it, we would have been in front. But what I did,
in front.
Yeah, we actually came back.
Belted.
We were like we were getting pumped, but we worked our way back into it. But
what you brought them back?
No, I didn't go back. I got really I was so shot in confidence. I went to run around the play. I got tackled, and as I got up, I watched the other team go down the other end and kick a goal, and I'm like, my head just shot straight down. I was filthy with myself. And then I get
the back line at that point. Of that,
no,
go back to the back line.
I got moved to the back line and I watched my opponent kick 2 goals on me because I think I was going for the ball. They got it to my opponent who was at the back. He kicked 2 cheap goals and they win by a few goals. And I thought, this game couldn't have gotten any fucking worse. I watched myself kick 4 points, cost us like pretty much 3 goals, and we lose by about 3.5 goals.
Did they ever let you back in the forward line after that?
They did. I'm pretty sure 2 games later, I was told to start on the bench, which, was just the thing. Most players started on the bench, at some point during the season. And I remember, because at this point, I was so pissed off with myself. I pretty much just said, look, I remember going into the game, look, I don't care what necessarily happens to myself. I'm going to go in and just, put my body in line. And if I miss it, so fucking what? Just go in and just, move forward. And I remember we were playing Seth Rang, and it was a very breezy day. And I remember the ball was kicked sky high, and I was, running back. I took the mark. I almost bobbled it because I was expecting to get, smacked the other way, but nobody came at me because the ball was just moving in the air, and it's like, okay, this is awkward. And I remember going back, and I was like, okay, I was 10 meters out directly in front, and I thought, fuck no. And I remember as soon as the ball left the boot, I saw it starting to go through, and I've just shouted, yeah, come on. And and it was funny. We broke a 5-game losing streak, but I was told after
winning streak.
Losing streak. Sorry, no, we won that game. But I was told afterwards it was actually so close to hitting the post, and I did not say that. And if I had seen that, I probably would have gone off.
So wait, you nearly hit the post, and you just went absolutely.
No, I got told a while after. I got told probably at the end of the season that that goal that you kick, yeah, it almost hit the post. I'm like, oh, okay.
You suck.
This is the first I heard of it, but
you suck.
Hey, at least I had the opportunity to kick goals. I'm like, you
What do you mean?
nugget.
I played forward a couple games and I scored a goal, mate.
Mate, I'm pretty sure that season I kicked double-digit goals that season. I know that.
Like 1 goal for my career, mate. Settle down.
One goal from 3.
From 3? What?
Wait, what did you say?
I kicked 1 goal for my career, mate.
Oh, I kicked more than that. Easy. But
yeah, I was a fullback.
But then, what's funny? The next game after, got put on the wing and I got best on ground. So,
a bit of Richo in that.
Mate, it was I don't know what they were doing. I had this thing where the ball was bounced. And we were winning the center clearances. And I started doing this at the second quarter, at the start of the second quarter, because I had a shocking first quarter. I just let the ball bounce. I'd let my opponent go in, but I just stand at the back, and my teammates would pass it to me, and I'd drill it.
So you got the cheap possessions you give players.
That's what I mean. Hey, look, no. Hang on, no. Look, no, there's no excuse. Hey, but guess what? I'm the one who enjoys that type of stuff, the outside stuff.
You enjoy the cheap stuff?
The outside. Hang on, though. I got BOG from
professional footballers aren't allowed to enjoy the cheap stuff, huh? Only you.
Well, they get paid almost $500,000.
Yeah, to thrive on the cheap stuff.
Exactly. No, to actually put their body on the line.
Yeah, they let the other teammates do that, and they get the cheap stuff out the back.
No. So I give wingmen the exception for that. They're allowed to do that.
Inside, allowed to go for the cheap stuff.
Inside ball players like Merritt and supposedly Hobbs aren't allowed to do that. Inside bulls aren't allowed to do that. No. They're there in and under. So,
all I'm hearing now is that you like getting the cheap stuff. You can't give shit anymore, mate.
Look, I will be. Hey, to be fair though, I will say this. When I broke my leg, it was the second worst break you could have. So that happened because, have you heard of the thing British Bulldog? Like that.
British Bulldog, yeah.
And I was when I first heard that, I was because I remember going to primary school and watching the grade 4, 5, and 6s lock themselves in the soccer nets and just play it. They'd lock themselves in there. The door would open, everyone would credit in, they close it, and then off they go. Like that's what they did. And I remember we rocked up and did this, and like there was like a we had like an area where we were allowed to go. My name got called out, and I remember I got around one. I was about to break the second one, and then the only guy I knew on the team came from behind me, tackled me, and I had like 2 cracks. And I'm like, okay. It's not like stuff where, where you go to like move and, your knee, you occasionally hear your knee crack, if you're old and stuff. It wasn't that.
Crack?
It wasn't that. Like, I felt genuine pain in my, like, it was like my ankle kind of, like, initially that's where I felt it. But then when the x-ray showed it, when it was like a spiral break, I broke the tibia, but they said it was the second most painful break in that you can suffer. I'm pretty sure I said this a couple of episodes ago.
You're so stupid, mate.
And I was pretty much told after that, like I was advised, if you're going to play football again, you'd want to play again the following year. But I had the thing where I only wanted to play for one junior club, and I'd moved. So I had to wait 4 years to go play again. And by that point, I was kind of nervous that I was going to break it again. But once I got more into the season, though, I started to gain a bit of confidence. And, I kind of found a way where I could, kind of like, not what most players do now and duck the shoulders, but kind of like fall to make sure that I wouldn't like get myself in that ugly situation that I got myself into at training. So that was one thing. But so yeah, well, I mean, I enjoyed telling that. Those couple of stories. My confidence being shot. I'm pretty sure everybody loves hearing that, including you, Summit. You love hearing me talk fucking mad shit about myself.
Oh, absolutely. You can see the pleasure on my face. Like,
I did, and I was actually getting ready to throw the microphone through the laptop camera, but I can't do that.
That's
I know
not
Liam
how
enjoyed
physics
that.
works, mate.
Sorry?
That's not how physics works, mate. You won't be able to hit him in the head.
you'd just be ruining your laptop for no good reason, mate.
Well, you guys flame me for no reason, so it's like,
Yeah, it's gonna take you. It'll take you a while to get enough ad revenue from your Twitch to get a new laptop, mate. So
Oh,
probably look after it.
That's
oh,
wrong.
jeez, I feel like I've just taken a shot in the.
I don't know, so I'm not sure why you're laughing like that. He's the guy that's making money for playing video games poorly.
I mean, I'm
Whoa!
true.
Whoa!
True.
Hang on a minute. Hang on. He said playing games poorly. I've seen you play the fucking game that I've played, and then I've got to say you are not the fucking best.
I don't stream, do I, mate? I'm
And
allowed to be shit.
Oh, here we fucking go.
Mate, that was like the first time I'd played the game.
No. You know what? I'm going to say what you guys say to me. Excuses.
Dude, do you not remember the round where I got 3 kills?
No, fucking 3 kills. What about the round where I got an
round.
ace?
Yeah,
What
well,
round? What
you're
round?
meant to be good, mate. I'm not.
Well, on my TikTok, I have one of my aces. By the way, someone, you need to get the game. We'll talk about that later. Okay, so
You want to know someone who actually doesn't have shot confidence?
See, mate,
and is
I don't waste
probably-
my time playing games. I actually work. So, yeah.
what happened there? Sorry, I couldn't quite catch that.
He's trying to one up you again, and I'm trying to introduce a new segment, and Summit's still trying to settle scores.
I couldn't hear it
Mate, I'm just
because my
replying.
internet. What?
No, but so you know how we were talking about confidence? I guarantee you there's one guy out on the planet right now that is sky high confident, and that's Cooper Kellaway.
Is he the one from the?
Yeah, the Big Bash final. What
Look,
an
honestly,
Oh,
I'll be completely honest. I did not watch any Big Bash. Like T20 now.
And
just
the Big
not-
Bash.
I did not watch any of it.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't watch the final.
I didn't watch any of it. I probably actually no, sorry, that's a lie. I probably watched a total of probably 1 hour because it was on during when I was scoring on a Sunday.
I did not see any of it. Nothing.
Like the BBL to me is just another one of those. Like it's just gone downhill because they've tried to extend the season and add all this stuff, but they've done it too quickly. Like now they get fucking nobody from overseas that kind of wants to join. And when they do, like half the overseas players are fucking shit. Like, let's be honest. Like Luke Wood, what the fuck
Dude,
was that?
no
dog start?
overseas players wants to join anymore. Like ever since
It's-
BBL 08 or 9, it's just been shit.
It's
Been
not
sh-
enough money for the longest comp in the world.
Oh yeah.
It's
Oh
the
yeah,
math
because
doesn't work.
it's all about the money, and that.
Dude, those people have to leave their families for like 3 months to come and play cricket in Australia. Like, I'd want to get paid adequately for it.
Yeah, exactly.
I would
The
Absolutely.
reason they don't play in Australia is because they get more money playing elsewhere.
Mm.
Good. Like, don't play Big Bash. Seriously, it is a joke of a competition right now. Like, seriously, the quality is so low that Steve Smith, he only played a handful of games, but yet he was number one in the competition for so many things.
True. He
So
almost got up there with runs. He was up there for a number of sixes and
he was up there for the
Yeah.
strike rate.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I know Steve Smith, an actual good 20 player. Who would have seen that coming?
I
Who-
did. I
who
called it.
would have
No, I
thunk
did
that?
not.
No, you did not.
I just corrected
You
myself.
shut
Good.
your mouth.
Well, it was such a bad lie that I needed to correct you as well.
Bad lie. When have I said? Okay, what lie have I said recently?
You claim Steve Smith. You knew Steve Smith was a good 2020.
Okay,
Exactly.
before fucking that one, you smart ass.
Well, that's recent, and that's one you've done. So,
Before that one, you smart ass. If you can't
Well,
think of
I'm
one,
not
then you
thinking
know.
No, we don't want to
about
dwell on
that,
your
am I?
past, mate.
Well,
we don't,
no,
we don't want to
if you
dwell on
can't-
your
if you
past.
can't-
It's too painful for us.
If you can't think of one, well, then obviously I don't do it as often as you fucking claim I do.
Wow, who would have thought me being sarcastic is full of cap? Whoa, I'm shocked.
Okay, you fucking listen to me. I'm actually starting to get real sick and tired of your smart ass comments.
That's all I'm good for, mate. You should have known that before we started this thing.
He's the funny guy.
Oh, you know what? I'm not going to say what I said before.
Yeah, go on, make me cry again. Go on.
No, I won't. Okay, well, look. There's a couple of big things, like big question marks so far. Like, we're about what? 4-5 weeks away from round one of the AFL season. And there are so many questions, right?
Are there?
Well, there's a couple of clubs that need to have big years. Like, if I'm going to go with predictions, I think Gold Coast are actually going to take a step backwards. I just feel like with the offseason they've had, I don't think, while he might be
selling pick
overpriced,
7 to get rid of a contract. Yeah, that's not a good look.
and they got themselves in that mess, which kind of makes me laugh.
Hold on, it's a bit unfair to say they got themselves in that mess when they have to overpay to keep even mediocre players because you've got cashed up clubs like Richmond that poach their good players.
Well, now that everybody's poaching the Giants players, not Gold Coast. Well,
Yeah, because all the Gold Coast players, all the good ones are gone because they're
and the ones that are
realised they
there
were never
probably
gonna
do
win
coke.
anything.
And the ones that are there that probably sniff. Do that stuff.
So they're on the Gold Coast because they enjoy partying on the Gold Coast and not because of their football.
Well, Carmichael Hunt and who was the other one? Harley Bennell and about 6 other teammates did it. So
Yeah, and how many of them are still there?
that's exactly right. But so yeah, no, I honestly think Gold Coast will take a step back. Like, I think when they play, say, example, when they have to make the trip out west, if they do, or Melbourne, Victoria, which I'm pretty sure early rounds they play Essendon, right?
Oh, that's an easy win for them.
No, and that's the other thing. What the fuck is going on, or what's going to happen to Essendon this season? Like, I'm genuinely
Bottom 4, genuine bottom 4. Yep.
I don't think.
No,
See, it's hard to get a.
better.
I'm going to read you. I'm going to read you their first month. They play Hawthorn now.
That's a loss. Oh, actually, no, you win.
No,
Sorry.
I
no,
say
you
that's a
win
win
that.
because I'm looking at where the rebuilds are at the moment. Essendon, I'd say Essendon's youngsters are better than Hawthorn's youngsters. The only player from Hawthorn that I'd swap with at Essendon would be Josh Ward for Ben Hobbs. That's the only player I'd swap.
Fair enough.
So I think that I think that's a win round one. Like, obviously early going, but that's it at the
I don't
moment.
know. How funny would it be if you guys get a lead and then lose it late like you did last time?
We beat them last time we played
Well,
Hawthorn.
the time before that, remember that really fun game?
Okay, whatever. Round 2 is Gold Coast at Marvel. That should be Essendon.
You should win that.
Should win that. Essendon, I'm probably going to put the Moss on there, but if I recall correctly, I don't think Essendon have actually lost to Gold Coast in Melbourne. I don't think. So that's potentially a 2-0 start. Round 3, when the fixture decides, St Kilda. That again, like you don't know where to put St Kilda. We said that last time, and what happened? St Kilda, leading into the game, when Essendon beat St Kilda in 2022, St Kilda, I don't know, they were in a bit of a, slump, but Essendon weren't winning many games. Essendon, the last couple of years, have seemed to have, at least 2021 and 2022, they have beaten St Kilda.
Yeah, St Kilda's only good at the start of the season, though, so you got them at the wrong time.
But we beat them at the start of the season in 2021. They belted them by 70 points.
Yeah, but this time St Kilda's going to win.
I don't think so. I think, to me, it still feels like that their forward line still heavily relies on Max King. And
apparently they're thinking about putting him down back. So
no, they do that. Ross Lyon seriously should not be able to coach a game of football again. Seriously, that would be the stupidest fucking thing that I can seriously think of that he's done. And I've got questions about their defense, their leaky defense.
They've got Ross Lyon now. The only thing they'll be able to do.
But he did nothing his last 4 or 5 years at Freo. They went backwards and they had culture issues at Freo because of that. And now, did you see that one of the guys at St Kilda, was it the general manager at St Kilda or the football manager at St Kilda, stood down? So they're in trouble. So that's another 50-50 game where Essendon could win that. Like, realistically, they could.
Round 4?
Round 4, the Giants. Now,
you should win that.
In Melbourne.
You should win that.
Essendon should win that. But again, like, whatever the Giants do with their youngsters, their development coaches are very good, which is why I don't know why their players leave after like 3 years, because like they're very good. Finn Callahan, I think, he's going to get a lot more game time for them.
Wait, what do you mean? So they have good development coaches and you don't know why they leave. It's because they get good and then teams that can offer them more money.
No, which I think is a bit kind of like selfish, but that's...
It's selfish. What, that they take more money?
It's a team sport. Like,
yeah, and when you think about how long the average AFL career is, you kind of need to take all the money you can get.
It's the same as the NFL. No.
Yes, it is.
I kind of see a point, but I still feel like, guys that are willing to, yeah, look, they know they're worth more, but, stays a team, they seem to have actually done better.
Yes, and you know why they do better? Because they're the guys that actually get long careers. But not every player can do that.
No, but it's not just that, because they'll not necessarily restructure their contract, but they'll take a bit of a pay cut.
Yes, and that's because the team, but not the average player can't do that.
I'm not saying that they can do that. I'm kind of just like, it just annoys me that players do that. Like, they go, oh, fuck, I've spent 7 years at the Giants, I've made close to fucking 3-4 mil, I'm going to leave. That isn't the average salary like 300K?
I don't know what it is anymore. I think it's somewhere around that.
And just for shits and gigs, round 5, they play Melbourne, which is a loss. So
you never know. Melbourne could be absolutely terrible this season.
No.
Sam Weedman revenge game.
Who? Oh,
Weedman revenge game.
Kicks fucking 10. No, well, what? But realistically, they could win their first. Looking at that and going based on the teams that they're going up against, that's
the only 3 wins you get all year.
4 wins that they could potentially get. 4.
Yeah, no,
And
you
who-
don't beat St Kilda, remember?
Sorry?
You're not beating St Kilda, remember? Only 3 wins.
We can beat St Kilda.
You can also beat Melbourne. So
We can't. We are not beat. The reason why I say that the Dons are not beating Melbourne is that Melbourne's really, really good players are better than Essendon's really, really good players, which is what's going to get them over the line. Like, you tell me who's going to stop both Petrarca and Oliver.
well, Clayton Oliver's pretty good at stopping Clayton Oliver, so you only have to worry about Petrarca.
Clayton Oliver's one of the best contested ball players in the comp.
And he is known to be able to have a stinker of a game. You never know. He could have an absolute stinker.
Yeah, just stinker, like, disposal efficiency wise, but
So
he's
what
still.
if he keeps getting the ball if he gives it straight back to like Ridley or something?
So what? You're gonna keep. So you don't rate him, do you?
No, not at all.
I don't rate Cripps because he does the exact same thing.
Cripps
but
is actually good.
No,
Clayton
he is
Oliver looks
not.
like a dickhead.
He is not a good. He is a very. I'd say he's good, but not very, very good like people rate him.
I'd
'Cause
take
he does
Cripps over Oliver.
He does exactly what Oliver does.
But I'd take Cripps over Oliver.
I'm taking Oliver over Cripps.
I don't like Oliver's attitude.
That's because he cried to the umpires when Berry did something to him. Like, come on.
Oh, he got
Yes,
outplayed
don't.
ran to the umpires. Yeah, no, I didn't like him before that, and I like him
I don't
less
know.
after it.
Look, both of them are the exact same player. Both of them fucking shook. When there's a fight, when they start the fight, they walk back. Cripps does it a lot. He doesn't fucking back up. And
Oh,
they're handball. They're just handball happy. 2-meter handballs that fucking offer and
nice
impact,
cheap touches. Cheap touches. Love a good cheapie.
which often lead to no impact on games and like.
I mean, there's a reason they're both always up there for the Brownlow.
Because they're under the umpire's fucking Scott. And that's the other thing. Like, the umpires should not be able to vote that. They seriously, the game that made me realize that, finally it clicked with that, was the game where Walsh and Cripps combined for, I think, 85 touches in a 4-goal loss to Adelaide. They gave the 3 votes to Patrick Cripps when, if I recall correctly, Ben Keys had something like 30-odd touches, 11 tackles, and kicked a couple of goals. That is best on ground worthy. That is 3 votes. 4-goal win, you do that, you get, well, you'd assume, automatic 3 votes. Every single fucking week. But what do they do that week? We'll just give him the 3 votes because he got 40 touches. Like,
Yeah, because he's that good, mate.
No, he is
Keys
not.
look amateur.
I know you're saying this to get on my fucking nerves, and I'm this close to boiling over, and I'm telling you right now to tone it down because, like, it's not good what you're saying.
What do you mean?
But
I'm
it
trying
is-
to create a TikTok here, mate. A
It
real
is.
banger to start off the TikTok account.
It is an absolute insult that you could say that, well, you don't rate a player who's the exact same as
No,
the
but
other
I
player.
seriously don't rate Clayton Oliver. I really don't like him.
That's because of what he did to
No, I
Berry.
didn't like him before that, though.
I don't, honestly, I'm having a hard time believing that.
I swear to God, I have never liked Clayton Oliver.
I know, and I don't rate Cripps, but yeah, I'm the one who gets fucking crucified for that because, he won a fucking Brownlow. Well, fuck me. Like, it's not necessarily that hard now for a midfielder to win a fucking Brownlow. Like, seriously.
Only midfielders can win the Brownlow.
Years prior, a Ruckman could fucking win it. Prior, forwards won it. And now, because the bloke gets fucking 30 touches, that's an automatic 3 votes. Automatic 3 votes. That is not. It is disgraceful how that system works. It is actually getting to the point now where the AFL Players Association MVP is more credible than the Brownlow. We can argue about that another time, but that is what I fucking believe. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people will agree with me on that too. I know that for a fucking fact. So
What do you mean? But they don't have to sit there for 4 hours listening to Gil McLaughlin love the sound of his own voice.
Oh, he's a fucking... seriously, like, what he's done for the game, I don't really know what good he's done for the game. Like, and you look at the clubs that are getting... And also the clubs that are getting funded, like, seriously, like, this isn't out there. How funny would it be, right, if... say North and St Kilda should fucking merge one year, like seriously.
I can't say anything about clubs getting money because Brisbane are like getting the most money outside of the expansion teams. So
exactly. And that's to just cover up the fact that they might go over the salary cap soon. But no, I said that as sorry.
You leave Brisbane alone.
I didn't say anything bad about them. I just said that they could go over the salary cap.
Over the salary
you know what?
cap.
Actually, no, sorry, no, it's to fix their fucking training grounds. Do you remember the one year where they their lights were just that fucked? And they the Gabba was like, you do, don't you?
Sadness.
Whereas, the Dons, they don't need as much because, the fucking facilities out there are...
You guys ditched Windy Hill to build a fucking solar.
Yeah, I know that seems like for a top, for a former powerhouse, and I say former because at the moment we are not a fucking the Dons are not a powerhouse. I can say we because I'm a member, so I can say that.
I'm a member of Brisbane.
I'm a member of the Dons, so I just realised I could say we as well. Yeah, look, it was a bit ratty.
So your professionalism goes out the window as soon as you give them some money, huh?
Fucking it's like they're asking for it though. Seriously, fucking, they need to do it themselves. But no, well, you're right though. It is a bit ratty that they left Windy Hill to build a fucking literally a top class fucking facility just to watch their players just drop down with calf injuries and hamstring or soft tissue injuries every fucking week.
So, hey, Lockie, which one of our 3 teams do you reckon is going to have the better season?
Out of who?
Essendon, Brisbane, and Freo. Because for some reason, someone likes Freo.
Look, if Brisbane don't make a preliminary final, I don't know how that coach can stay because that side...
you can't get rid of Fags. Everyone loves Fags.
I don't care. That side should make the grand final next year. That bare minimum prelim. If they don't make a prelim, with what they've upgraded there...
We made the prelim last year. From outside the 4.
If they don't make the prelim, though, if they don't, you've got to question whether or not the coach is safe. Because they've upgraded their midfield. That midfield is so much better now. And it looks better with Josh Dunkley in there. To the point now where there's questions of whether or not fucking Jared Lyons will get a game. And he'd probably get a game in every other, most...
Jared Lyons was already barely getting a game end of last season because of the injury he was carrying.
But am I wrong though? I think I'm fair to say that though.
He wouldn't get a game for Gold Coast.
Yeah, but I mean,
I can't believe they got rid of him.
It's not their finest moment, and not giving Michael Barr a go, who could have been a good leader there, good mentor, which is what in Gunston mentor.
Yeah, hopefully Hipwood can kick straight now.
Oh. Although Gunston kicked a few points against Essendon when we played them last year, so I'm hoping that he can not kick straight. Look, I mean, he's running out of time as well to actually start doing something, Hipwood, because he's getting to the so-called prime of a footballer, and what's he fucking done? He's let the...
Hey, he kicked a few goals in garbage time of that final.
Yeah, garbage time. Meant nothing.
He was really good that game we beat Melbourne.
Kick fucking 3. But in terms of what has he done to turn that contract? And that's the other thing.
Mate, this season he'll earn that contract because second year back from an ACL.
And the thing about contracts, right? And you know, I'm going to have a dig, not at you guys, not at Summit, although I should dig at him at some point. Not at you, because I don't dig at you at all. I'm going to take a swipe at fucking Kane Corns. The absolute fucking
what's he done
shit
now?
show that he's done. He's like, Essendon should be one of the clubs that should chase Tom DeConey.
Wait, is that the one that's at Carlton? That
Yes.
Sam's the one.
He's like,
the good
Essendon
one
should
at
pay him.
Geelong, yeah.
He's like, Essendon should pay him like, $1 million. The fucker,
For what?
he's done nothing. The bloke is going to be 24 this year, and he's done fucking nothing. He's got average stats. Here's the thing. He was averaging like 50-something ruck contests a game. You know how many hit-outs he was winning? Like how many hit-outs he was averaging? Fucking 17 out of 50-something like ruck contests a game. That's shit for a ruckman.
Take Phillips over that.
No, I'd take Nick Bryan over that.
I have no idea who that is.
No, I'd take 2 meter Peter over that. Like,
He's
seriously.
a forward.
What?
He's a forward.
He can pitch it in the ruck.
He's a forward who won your BNF. What do you want about?
I'd even back Nick Cox in the ruck.
Big call.
Not a big fucking call. The bloke's better below his knees than fucking Tom DeConey. The only thing DeConey has is a good fucking leap. Other than that, what the fuck is he? Like, you don't know. But Kane Corns, you are a dickhead for saying that.
We already knew he was a dickhead before he said that, though. Let's be honest.
Well, yeah, he quit his firefighter job after 6 months. So, like, he seems like a good bloke. Someone that would stay true to his word.
Maybe he just found that he wasn't as passionate about firefighting.
Sorry?
Maybe he found he wasn't as passionate about firefighting as he thought he would be.
Or maybe when it all gets too hard, he just throws in the towel. But it'd have to be a dry towel because it can't be a wet towel.
He could probably be earning quite a few dollars from his media gig.
Oh, fuck me. Like, seriously. If he does special commentary, I'd fucking turn it off. Like, the commentary gets turned off. The one cricket commentator where I get like that now is oh fuck, I can't think of the commentator. I don't mind most of the commentators.
They're obviously that good. They're so good that you don't even remember their name.
That's a good point. But yeah, so like, I've just got so many questions leading into round one. But sooner or later, we're gonna have to start up our footy tipping comp. Get that up and going.
You're gonna get absolutely crushed by me, Lockie.
If you actually tip all season,
I could tip half the season and get more right than you would in a whole season.
Mate, I'm going to tip like the kiss of death and just tip the upsets. No, what?
Never going to tip Brisbane then.
You know what? Put it down. Note it down. I'm going to be the kiss of death of the footy tipping comp. I'm going to call it that.
So if you tip a team, I have to tip the other team because there's no way your tip's going to be right. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much. You remember that one year where, like, early in the season, he was leading the fucking Herald Sun tipping because all the upsets were winning? And it's like, what the fuck? There is no way this guy's leading it. But, like, seriously, note it down. I will be the kiss of death of the footy tipping comp.
I reckon Stumut's going for a win in the tipping comp this year.
I'll be honest, the last time I participated, I was number one for as long as I did the tipping.
And then he stopped doing it. He lost his drive.
Yeah. It was too easy.
Like, he was like, I was on top for 1 week. That's enough for me.
I was actually on top for a few weeks, and then I was like, yeah, no, I'm good now. I'll give you guys a chance to, take the top spot.
So I've just taken a step back.
I don't want to hold that too much.
I've just taken a step back from tipping. Like, I just don't feel like I'm not as into it as I used to be. Like, because most weeks I was getting like 7, 8 right. And then it's like last year I was getting like fucking 5 right. And it's like, what? Like last year I was a bit all over the shop. Like, I'd watch some games and then I wouldn't watch some. And it's like, yeah, fuck this. I don't know. And I'd have too much.
We were trying to decide we were going to try to do a podcast player of the year. And we got like 3 rounds in and then just stopped.
We need to commit to that.
Oh my
Okay.
God, that's a lot of games to watch, mate. And you much rather watch local footy than AFL.
No. Well, we're going to have to go by a lot of news articles then.
We can't trust them. They're biased.
Oh, yeah, good point. Well,
And we can't trust stats because they don't tell us about impact.
that's a good point. Like disposals, Cripps. Oh, yeah, look. Oh, if
Hey, but that's the thing. When we were actually doing it, he actually was impacting games.
round one, well, I don't recall what he did in round one.
He was like the best player of the round. And you even said so at the time.
I did too. I did say that, that was one of the rare games where he actually impacted a game.
Well, you just can't give the man a compliment. You have to backhand it, mate, don't you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is like
we
like
should
most
get
people.
Sumit. Sumit should be the tiebreaker. If we can't decide, Sumit picks.
Well, I mean, like, no, seriously, like, we need to make sure that I'm gonna get a big fucking thing in my room. I'm gonna have every round, right? I'm gonna put it up on my wall. Go the podcast player of the season. Each game, the 3, 2, 1, and we have to agree on it. Like, it can't just be, both, because otherwise, a player could end up with fucking 200 votes by the time halfway season starts.
Is that even possible?
Yes. Well, actually.
Okay, so if someone got the maximum 6 votes, how many rounds are there? 23?
Oh, fuck. Actually, no, you're right.
How many games do they play? It's like 21 games or something?
22.
6 times 22. The max someone could get is 132 votes if they had a perfect season.
Okay, well, look, I was exaggerating, but you get my point. Like, I'll have
if
that
we
up.
times it by 3, well, 9, sorry, because if all 3 of us are doing it, the max someone could get if they got best on ground from all 3 of us for every game of the season is 198 votes.
Honestly, I don't think we'd be able to do that because I know Sumit's going up to Gold Coast by May, so he won't be able to actually look at.
You never know. He could become a football tragic on the Gold Coast. Watch every game, know more about it than we do.
But I reckon, like, I honestly wouldn't mind that. But like, honestly, do you want to see? Like, no, we'll commit to that. I will commit to that.
Dude, we've barely started. This is the most we've ever posted episodes like weekly ever. 3. And we've been doing this for like 2 years.
This is our second.
Well, we started in 2021.
Yeah, but that was late 2021. Yeah. Like, very late. Like, it was like November, I think. But, okay, like, I reckon this is probably a good time to end it because, like, now we're all a bit, I'm a bit excited about things now that you've.
I'm ready to go to sleep.
And Sumit's looking at his fucking phone, smiling at something, so we'll let him be.
Sorry, mate. Talking with the misso. Sorry about that.
Priorities.
We will say goodbye. We might, I know I said this last week, but we should have somebody geared up for Sunday.
Yeah, we shouldn't promise shit like that. It should just be a surprise when it happens.
Well, look. Well, too late. I've already said it. Well, we might have somebody there next week. So we hope whether or not you are going to listen to it or watch it, whatever platform you use. Whatever platform you use, we hope you enjoy this episode. I am Lachlan Turner.
I'm Liam McDonald.
And I'm Sumit Kadal.
And we are signing off now.
Toodles.
Bye-bye.